Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're looking at Gran Turismo 7. Now we do finally have the 120 FPS mode. So let's go ahead and, oh gosh, let me exit this. Let's go ahead and show you how that works. So you're going to go into options. You're going to go into video output. You'll come on down to the 120 Hertz output and then you can switch that on or off. Now, sadly, it doesn't appear to be working with PSVR 2, but it does work on the actual game. So we're going to get in here because I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on here. Now, right now I am on a 1440p monitor, so it actually looks fairly sharp. But we are at 1080p. We are at 1080p now. It still looks pretty good on the monitor. It actually still looked pretty decent on the 4K screen. Like it wasn't too bad, but the smoothness of this is incredible. And yes, my oh gosh. And yes, my and it does work with VRR as well. So with VRR, you're going to get, you know, it's going to be a lot smoother or whatever than what it normally would be. And I'm trying to use a controller right now to record this video, so please forgive my terrible driving in this car. I did switch it to automatic just so I could use this. It's so hard for me to do all the stuff on that. But effectively is what you're getting is, yeah, 120 FPS, just like advertised. It feels really good. It feels incredibly smooth. The visual degradation is not too bad because I think they are using some sort of upscaling to reconstruct the image up a little bit higher. So it does look 1080p, but it also still looks pretty sharp, pretty good when you're going like through the when you're going through here. I always pick Nordschleife just because that right there, you know, this is like the biggest track on the game, so this is going to give you your most accurate representation of what the biggest thing is going to be. So as you can see, I mean, this video will be uploaded at 1440p, so you'll be able to see. I mean, it's not that much of a downgrade, but let's go ahead and stop this car real quick. Well, we have to exit the race to do this. We have to get out of there so we can get back into the menu. So you're going to go back up here, and then you'll go back to options, video output. We're going to go ahead and set that to off, and then that'll reboot the image or whatever. And then when we get back in, you'll be able to see that now everything looks much sharper, way more sharper, even on this monitor. Why doesn't that brake work on this car for some reason? It's so bad. So yeah, everything looks so much sharper now, a lot more detail and everything. You do lose a little bit, but man, honestly, to tell you the truth, playing this at 120 FPS is not a bad thing at all. And I did test it out on PSVR 2, and it does appear to be running, you know, much smoother with the headset on. Not like super smoother, but it does kind of feel a little bit smoother, to tell you the truth. Like it does. I believe that this has kind of fixed this, but you're not getting no VRR support through the headset, so you're definitely not going to be able to really tell a difference. But you can definitely tell a difference just in the way this feels compared to what it was just feeling like with the 120 FPS mode. Like this does feel a lot more squishy. Let's see if I can change it from in here. So display settings, yeah, you can't do anything from in here. So you actually have to get out of here, and we'll test this just one more time. Go ahead and get this up. Get this video up there for you, my friends. Options, video output. All right. Now, I promise you that going to 1080p with it being upscaled, it does not look terrible at all. Like it it still holds up fairly well, but you can automatically see right when you boot back into here, it's softer. It definitely is soft on this 1440p monitor. And usually if it's a 4K and it's downscaled, usually if it's still 1440p, like it still looks like really sharp, but you can kind of see the softness on the 1080p on the 1440p monitor. You can still see that, but it still looks pretty dang good. It just doesn't look as crisp or as dense as the image would look if it was, you know, 1440p or being downsampled from 4K to 1440p. But this still looks fairly good, but you can definitely see that like the outline of the car looks, I'm not going to say blurry. Well, yeah, I'm just going to say it blurry. You see the top of the canopy over the driver compartment. Like it does look a little blurry. I'm not even going to lie. The fence right there over here off right directly in front of the car, you could see how it kind of stops. Like you can't see the fence anymore, but everything back you can still kind of see chain links if you're looking like right next to the car. But in front of us, they're completely gone. So I mean, you're losing some of the draw distance. You're not getting some of the, you're not retaining a lot of the image quality that you would be retaining on the 4K image and stuff. So you can see like the fence kind of pop in and stuff, like the chain links kind of pop in certain areas and stuff like that. So you are going down a little bit in the quality department for sure, but 120 FPS, if you're on a 1440p monitor, it still looks, dude, it looks incredible. Like it feels so good like this. Like you definitely want this. You want to have this as an option. So when you're actually racing and being competitive, this is going to feel better. This is going to give you a much better experience. Now, if we switch back into the cockpit still looks fine, but you can see out here that it does kind of get a little bit blurrier. Like it does. You know, there's no lying about that. But is it still drivable? Yeah, it's definitely still playable. We should be grateful that they gave us this. I wish Assetto Corsa Competizione would give us a 120 FPS 1080p mode. Like it doesn't really matter. You can set your PS5 into 1080p mode, and then just let your screen upscale it back to 4K too. That will definitely help. You're not going to get a lot of the clarity back, but it will help with the image blurriness and make it look even better. So yeah, that's one of those things that you're definitely getting. I can guarantee this is pretty much 1080p. You don't have to wait for Digital Foundry. It's 1080p, but it also does still look like they're using some sort of upscaling to try to make it look a little better, which is fine, man. This is looking great. Now, it could potentially be dynamic resolution, but seeing as I don't have any other cars on the track, and this is why I stress this, because I don't have any other cars on the track, so that's why I think it's completely just dropped to 1080p so it can be sustainable. And it feels pretty dang smooth as well. Now on my 4K OLED, because I was able to use the actual on the 4K OLED, I'm able to actually use VRR support on there. And I hooked that up and I checked that without even plugging it into my without even having it hooked up to my capture card. I needed a clean image so that because with my capture card it will automatically knock it down to 1080p. So I had to turn the at 120 FPS. So I had to just run that directly so I could check it out. And yeah, it does look 1080p, but it also, the checkerboard or whatever they're using, or temporal injection, or whatever type of upscaling technique they're using, it does still kind of retain some of that crispness, some of that sharpness on certain things. But if you're driving in chase cam, you're going to notice it a lot. But if you're like right here in cockpit cam, it is not really that bad. You can definitely see like the pixel crawl on straight lines, stuff like that. Like the 1080p pixel lines and stuff, but yeah, this is not that bad. This is actually freaking pretty cool that you got 120 FPS mode in this game. There is no ray tracing with this. You don't get no ray tracing in the 120 FPS mode, so that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, and it's still just, it feels good. The function is great. Now, I thought that they were talking about, somebody was mentioning that they reworked the handling and all of that stuff, or the physics and stuff. I don't feel like that is 100% the case. It still feels pretty much Gran Turismo. So you did get the 5 new cars today. You got the 2 new layouts here for the Nordschleife, so that's pretty good. It's a pretty decent update, man. I'm pretty excited about the 120 FPS. I would have been more excited if it would have been, you know, more geared toward the PSVR 2 as well, to maybe help with image quality a little bit for some of the people that are having, you know, image quality issues. Me personally, I'm not having any problems with the VRR or with the VR headset. I think it's incredible. I think it looks great. But yeah, it does not appear to work with that. It won't even let me switch the headset. It won't even let me turn on the 120 FPS mode with the headset on. So basically, that's pretty much where we're at with that. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be making some more VR videos for Gran Turismo pretty shortly. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. I will leave this video uncut for you.